Alright guys, welcome back to another video. Bit of a different one today. We're actually sitting down and I am not behind my laptop, and I know you've probably never seen me do that before. And today is going to be a less structured video, right? There's no strategies today, there's no tactics, but I just want to talk about a very, very important topic, which is motivation. As a human being, right, as an individual, you are going to struggle with motivation sometimes. You're not always going to be 100% motivated, but I want to address the question of how can you actually stay motivated? Okay, I get this question all of the time. I actually answered it a bit on my Instagram about 1 or 2 weeks ago. And ultimately, it's a really important question that you need to look at for yourself and figure out how you are going to actually stay motivated. So watching motivational videos and motivational talks is great if you're in a really dark place, you're not in a good mood, or you're just in a rut, okay? So you can get value from videos like that, but I want to stress the fact to you that you should not rely on them. I've noticed that this chair I'm sitting in is actually very, very noisy. It kind of keeps creaking, so apologies about that if there's a bit of background noise. So as I mentioned, right? Videos, motivational stuff, motivational content is great, but it's not always going to keep you motivated. Motivation is something that is intrinsic, right? It comes from within you, and ultimately you have to find what that motivation is for you. So for me, it comes down to a few things, right? First off, you've got to be passionate about what you do. For me, if I was working a 9 to 5, I know I would not be motivated and I would struggle with it. Because I run a marketing agency, it's something I'm passionate about, and I also get to help people start their own marketing agencies. That's also something I'm very passionate about. So for me, that is my form of motivation, right? That keeps me going. So on the days where I might be in the best mood, or maybe it's not sunny or something like that, I'll still have that bit of internal motivation that will keep me going. So the first thing, right, you got to be really clear on having a passion, right? Something you really, really enjoy to do and something you're passionate about. Now the second thing you can look at is something I call negative motivation. It's essentially where you look at what you don't want in life and where you don't want to be. So it's quite the opposite of like manifestation or things like that, because you're basically doing the opposite, right? You're using fear as motivation. Now I don't recommend always doing this, but it is good, right? When you're not in a very motivated place in your life, you need to look at your current situation and you've got to say to yourself, do I want this to be my life for the next 20 or 30 years? And if it's not, you can actually use that as a form of motivation. So for example, right now, I run a 6-figure business and I get to teach people how to do that as well. And that's great for me. But I also can use that as a form of negative motivation, because I know that I don't want to just be stuck at that mark forever. I want to build my agency into a bigger business, and I also want to build my personal brand into a much bigger business. So I can use that as a form of motivation. The third thing you should do is you should stop relying on other people for your motivation. So I see a very common trend with people where they want to start an online business or just a business in general, right? And they don't feel like they're that motivated to do it themselves, so they find a business partner and they go in with their business partner and they do it that way. Now, having a business partner is great and it can be extremely beneficial, but if you use it because you're just simply not motivated enough, it's not a good reason. If you start a business with that mindset, you're always going to be relying on that other person to give you your sense of motivation. So if you're not feeling A1, you want them to be able to bring you up to that A1 mark, and that's great. If that happens, that can be good, but what happens when the other person is also not motivated? Now you've got two people who are not motivated and they're just going to drag each other down. So be passionate about what you're doing. Use negative motivation when it makes sense. And 3, don't rely on other people for your motivation. Now, if you can do those 3 things, you should be in a good position, but really for yourself, you have to look at it on a deeper level and look at, why do I want to achieve this goal? Whatever that goal is for you. Whether you want to get in shape or you want to make $10,000 per month or 10,000 euro, whatever it is, you've got to realize, why do you want that? Money is a great motivator, but you need something more than money as well. So for me, time and location freedom are such big drivers. Like financial freedom is a really big driver for me, but time and location freedom are just as big. And the last thing I want to say to you is that you've got to look at it and think bigger than yourself, right? So obviously look at yourself and look at where you want to be, but also look at where you want your family to be, or where you want to spend your time, and just other areas like that where it's not solely just focused on money all of the time. As I said, money is a great motivator and it definitely pushes me forward, but it's not the sole reason why I'm motivated. Money's great, I talk about it all the time, but it is not everything. And the last thing I want to leave you with, guys, is that to have motivation in your life and to always be in the mood to get your stuff done, you've got to set yourself up for a good life. So even for myself, this is something I'm continually working on, of, you know, having a good support network of friends, having a lot of acquaintances who are also in like the same industry as you, so other people who are maybe building their agency. So being in communities like our free Facebook community is a great way to do that. Check that out, link is in the description. Optimizing your health and doing stuff that's really good for you as an individual, right? You've got to look at all these other areas, because when you can treat your life as something that you're constantly trying to improve and just make the best of, you're going to have motivation. And as I mentioned, guys, this was not a structured video. This was just me. I popped on the camera and I said, look, let's talk about this topic, because I see so many people ask me this question. So I know that a lot of people struggle with this. A lot of people are asking it because they struggle with it. So as I mentioned, definitely join that free Facebook community. You know, we've got people in there who are starting from scratch, trying to build an online business, trying to build a social media marketing agency. And we have a couple of people who are a bit more advanced and they know what they're doing and they've got clients. So definitely check that out. And in there, you can ask me questions all of the time. And we do a live every 2 weeks. So yeah, link is in the description. Check it out. And apart from that, guys, make sure you hit the like button for the YouTube algorithm, and, you know, hit the subscribe button if you're new. I would presume if you're watching this, you are already subscribed, because, you know, you seem like a nice person. And as always, I'll see you in the next video.